Hi guys, what's going on? Welcome to OldSchoolHaunter for the second and last part in my video series on how I built my animated prisoner. In the second part I will transform the cage into what you can see behind me, a cool old rusty iron cage, and of course my prisoner gets some clothes because I don't want him to catch up a cold on Halloween outside. I'll provide the link for the first part at the end of the video, so if you step into this video series at this point, feel free to watch the first part. There you can see on how I built the cage and the controls and the mechanics and so on. So by the way, I already got some suggestions for a name for my buddy here, so many thanks for that. I will collect your suggestions until Halloween, so if you have a cool idea on how I can name my buddy, just feel free to write it down in the comments and check you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of the next videos. But now I don't want to torture you any longer. Let's start and I'll show you how a PVC wood cage becomes this beautiful iron cage. Alright, in order to create the rust effect I took down the cage into separate parts, and this is the bottom frame, the bottom side of it, and the mechanics is still attached to it. And because the wood is too smooth to have a cool rust effect, I use some wood glue now, which I water down a little bit, and some coffee grain here, and I will paint the wood glue to the wood and then irregularly add the coffee grain to it so we get a cool base layer for our rust effect. And then we wait until the glue has dried. The glue at the bottom side has dried, and now I will add some more coffee grain to the outer side here. And these outer sides are directly visible to the visitors, so I will work out those details here. Parts which are not directly visible for the visitors will surely get a rust layer, but not as detailed as the outer side. So you know, I keep it like Hollywood here. Only what you see will get such details here, and you know, so you can save some time and some material here. Alright, glue has dried, and this is how it looks like at the moment. This is the top part, and the coffee grain brings a little bit structure. And now it's time to add some paint, and here I use a rust primer, and this gives me a good base for finalizing the rust layer. Top and bottom frame has dried, and now it's time to work on the bars. And because the bars are made of PVC, you should do a little paint test, so to check whether you can put the spray paint directly onto the PVC pipes or not. And in my case I did a test and I can put the spray paint directly onto it. So now I will use some sandpaper, give it a light sanding, and then it's time to add the rust primer together with the coffee grain. After spraying on the rust primer, I add the coffee grain directly onto the wet paint randomly. This way the coffee sticks to the PVC pipes and I don't have to glue it using some special glue. Finally, I cover everything with a thin layer of rust primer again. As a second layer I use black mud spray paint. This is sprayed irregularly on the rust primer, and this way I get the effect that on the one side it looks like old iron, but the coffee grain and the rust primer underneath makes it look like there are already small rust spots. And here you can see the direct comparison. The upper pipe is already painted with black, and below you can see how it looked like before. Alright, rust effect is finished so far, and now I apply a layer of clear coat mud to protect the rust effect. Alright, for the chains which are attached to the top of the cage, so which hold the cage in place, I used this rust effect spray paint here. And you know, the chains are a little bit higher, and so this spray paint here does a really good job. Alright, everything has dried, and look at this beautiful rust effect here. Isn't it nice? I'm so happy with the result. And yeah, it's nothing more than rust primer, coffee grain and black spray paint, and of course clear coat mud at the end. And it's so beautiful, I think. And I think I will do a separate tutorial about this. But now it's time to assemble the whole thing, so I can show you the finished product. The top together with the cape is a ready-made costume that I bought very cheap. It fits very well here because I needed something white so I can cover the drive of the prisoner later on. The pants, however, still look too new. That's why I cut from the bottom all around the pants legs and then ripped the fabric a little. The trouser legs also get a few more holes using this method. With the help of a long cape, I now cover the screws, which are used to screw the hands to the bars. And here I now use the white cape to cover the mechanics behind the prisoner. Then it's time to hook the chains to the cage and our prisoner gets its grand debut. And finally I spray paint the heads of the bolts with the rust primer, which makes them look like rusted. Alright, with this the project Animated Prisoner is finished and I can't wait to set up my body here in my Halloween decoration. Whoever comes by my place on Halloween can see this animatronic live in action, of course. What I really like about this project is the rust effect, because I find it very successful in realization and I'm very happy that it worked the way I created it this time. Otherwise, the project is in the center, so if you talk about the difficulty to classify this project a little bit, there are some simple parts in this project, and if you think of the parts with the animatronic, you can rebuild this project relatively easy here. So my Halloween friends, I hope I could show you enough details with this video so you can rebuild this project or use it in other projects. But of course, if you have some questions, please tell me about it in the comments. I will try to do my best to answer your questions, of course, and please tell me what you think about this project here. So we've reached the end of this video for today, and if you liked the video, if you liked this project, please give me a thumbs up and check you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming updates around the topic of Halloween. So for today I say thanks for watching, see you next time and happy Halloween!